Okay, let's talk about long-term planning. Often as a coach or a consultant, people will share with me that they have some concerns about setting long-term plans, and sometimes even short-term goals. They resist. And when pushed to clarify why that is, they will tell me that they don't like to be structured. They don't want to be hampered. They don't want to be limited to obey some preset plan. My response to them is my response to you. You wrote the plan. You can change the plan anytime you want. You can simply say, I used to want this, now I want that. I used to think this, now I think that. You're the author of the plan. The freedom is not robbed. The clarity is gained by long-term planning. Let me share with you that there's a very important part of our brains we have to understand, and I'll probably talk about it in many other places. It's called the reticular activating system. It's a part of the brain that looks for whatever we're moving towards. Let me illustrate the reticular activating system and then get back to long-term planning. Reticular activating system. Have you gone through the process of purchasing a car? This is not an uncommon process. People go through, they first say, I need something, and then they start looking around, magazines, cars, talking to friends, noticing what's on the road. They finally start narrowing it down and narrowing it down and narrowing it down until they select the model, the type, the color, whatever. Here's the interesting thing that happens. Somewhere around the time that they've made the decision or even purchased the car, somewhere in that little stretch of time, those cars begin to appear everywhere. On every street corner, someone else is driving one. It's like yesterday no one had one. Today everyone has one. Everyone made the same decision you made. But we know that that's not true. What happened is it became your current dominant thought. And whenever you feed your brain a current dominant thought, its job is to seek it out, to find it, to acquire it, to achieve it. And so our brains are like homing torpedoes. They've got a target, and they will find that target. And so that's the power of the reticular activating system. Place a dominant thought in there, it will find it in your reality. That's why people who are always whining, always complaining, there's always problems, they'll always find more problems. We all can find problems if we want to. And other people always find opportunities. Why is that? Because that's what they're looking for. So this is programming the brain to look for what you want. Long-term planning is exactly that. At all times, your reticular activating system is looking for something it's been fed, something of meaning, something of purpose, something worth going after. Or it goes to its default. Now, default settings on the reticular activating system. First default setting is survival, which means if we have no ambition, no drive, no focus, we will survive, which is excellent. Then we will move towards safety. Safety is step 2. Once we are surviving, we have food, we have shelter, then we want to begin to defend the border of that safety, that survival mechanism. After that, though, this is where it gets really disturbing. We immediately shift unconsciously in the default setting to comfort. All of a sudden, everything's about comfort. And you know some of these people. Everything's about how comfortable they can make it. They want the remote right there on their lazy boy. They don't want to have to move. They have everything right so they never have to be uncomfortable. In the absence of a goal that's worthy of your attention, worthy of your effort, worthy of your drive, you will default into comfort. And you will simply look for the path of least resistance. And unfortunately, that won't produce the life that you've dreamt of. You will find that the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall after you've climbed it with your life. So my strong suggestion is to become clear about the power of long-term goal setting. Your brain will work 24/7 towards reaching and achieving meaningful goals. Otherwise, we fall into the default settings, which is comfort, and that doesn't achieve a life worth living, in my estimation. There you go. That is long-term planning. It's worth it.